here at DreamHack Winter 2015. I'm your host, Richard Lewis. With me is YNK. He's moved up. We've sent Thorin to bed. A Brazilian fan was staring at him quite menacingly from the crowd after the Crush Nuts joke. So we've bumped YNK up to expert. God help us all. And hopefully padding it out and saying some intelligent things about the last game of the day. For a change. We've brought Maniac back and we've brought Vendetta as well in. So this is it. This is El Clasico, as it's known, a Swedish derby, a rivalry that's been long-standing. It's a very different entity now to what it used to be, of course, Fnatic versus NIP. So Fnatic with a new-look team, NIP, we don't even know how to get a read on these guys anymore. Just when you think they're done, they come back, and then just when you start believing them, and again, they let you down. It's like very, very strange. So just some thoughts about these two teams going head-to-head here at DreamHack Winter.
Yeah, there's always something special going on when these two teams play each other. Even if you go 2 years back to DreamHack, to the first major, DreamHack Winter 2013, when NIP was at their most dominant point, they lose to Fnatic in the grand finals. Then, you know, at Cologne, when actually NIP is in a slump, they beat Fnatic in the grand finals to win their first major. This year at Katowice as well, Fnatic on the top of their form, undisputably the best team in the world, and they still struggle against NIP in a final, while NIP is not, you know, wasn't at their best. So it's really hard to predict whenever these two teams play, even more so now when Fnatic had the roster changes and NIP, as you mentioned, has been up and down all the time. So I'm expecting an exciting game.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anything to add, gentlemen?
Yeah, I mean, definitely an exciting game coming up. I want to, though, make a point about where those teams actually stand in their lifespan. On one hand, you got NIP running soon at the end of their contracts. You got a lot of rumors. Who's going to come in? Is GetRight going to go to NA? We don't know that. So basically, it's like the end of a cycle. It might be. And on the other hand, you got Fnatic. It's completely opposite. They bring in Dennis. They are at the beginning of a new era. So I'm wondering, does that will change the game? I mean, they are at something new. NIP may be at the end of something. That might play a role, yeah?
Yeah. I guess we could say that NIP's play as of late has been revitalized or reborn to a sense, because we thought everything was just over for the longest time, and then they started playing well again, like the NIP we knew from the past. So I'm gonna go with a bold prediction here. I'm gonna say both teams will pick up rounds for this game.
So that is prediction.
Yeah, so
don't jinx it, mate. I don't want to end on a 16-0. Anyway, look, well, before we actually get into a bit more of in-depth analysis, what I want to do is tell you guys at home about a way that you can get your hands on some sick swag. Now, Razer, one of our wonderful sponsors, have got a bit of a raffle going on, and you can win a Razer blade, but there's all sorts of peripherals and a monitor there as well. All you need to do is follow the URL. It was just on your screen down there. You go there. You're going to have to like some Facebook pages. It's tough, I know. Click that like button, and you'll be in with a chance to win something awesome. So thanks a lot to Razer for that one. Now, back to the matter of the Swedish derby. You know, Fnatic coming off the back of just an absolute imperious 16-0. We were talking a little bit about this. Does that help you get into a positive mindset, or is it like it's no warm-up at all? You know, we know NIP had a really, really good game, 16-8, back and forth. They had to try. Didn't feel like Fnatic really had to against Luminosity.
Yeah, I think that's a valid point. You don't really know where you're at if you're Fnatic right now. You know you played a good game, right? But you're not sure if it's because you were just so much more dominant because you were better, or if it was, or you were playing at your best, or if it was Luminosity lacking severely in that game. So you don't really get a good feel for how you're doing. And NIP on their end, they actually had an NV team that fought back, so they can feel like we actually played a really good game. We did really well, things really well, executed our strats, proper rotations on our CT side, so they can feel confident going into this matchup.
I think that the Fnatic are experienced enough not to get complacent by the fact that they had such an extremely good game against Luminosity. As I mentioned in the previous segment, I think Luminosity, it wasn't like the Liquid game where they made a whole lot of mistakes and TSN capitalized on it. Here, it's basically just Fnatic being really on point and hitting their shots. And I think it's a good sign for them coming into this map. As Ben pointed out, NIP also had a good game. They had a closer game against Envious. They had to fight a bit more for it. So, yeah, it's going to be hard to predict, who's going to win, but we'll see.
A big factor in that Maniac is going to be the maps. Let's have a look. We got the Veto. It's coming coming up.
Us too.
Now, what do you think of that one, Maniac? Because I'm surprised to see it on that map, actually.
Are you surprised?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because I know it's been very, very good for Fnatic in the past, but I wouldn't say, you know, amazing. I can think of maps that they're better on, right? NIP have been moving towards Dust 2, and we looked at the stats coming into it, and they had a ridiculous record on Dust 2 lately. Like, it's not a map you want to play NIP on right now.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, people talk about TSM being the best Dust 2 team in the world. I think NIP are. Like, NIP, they're the one of the teams that can actually beat TSM regularly on Dust 2. So, for me, they're just wildly scary on that map. So I think maybe, you know, you talked about Fnatic not getting complacent because they won 16-0, but maybe they are feeling too comfortable with the Dust 2 pick.
What I think Dust 2 makes actually sense. When I did my own veto prediction, I knew that like Overpass and Train and Cobblestone were almost direct ban from the both teams.
Absolutely.
So for me, it was between Mirage, Dust 2, and Inferno. But actually, Dust 2 makes sense instead because Fnatic brought a new player. Having an open map is always a little bit easier than a very closed overpass/cache, for example. So an open map makes sense, and I think it's going to be very interesting because both teams have extremely skilled players. You can take Forest, had this amazing game for their first match. Flush and Olofmeister just completely crushing Luminosity. So I think this is a proper map for a big show. That's why I'm interested.
It's going to be a great way to round off the day. Anyway, we've got Parla. He's going to be on the stage there with Forest and JW for the pre-match interview.
Forest, speaking to someone in the crowd, and JW, that is correct. Guys, what's going on? How are you doing?
I'm doing all good, man.
Yeah.
All good.
And yourself, Jesper?
Perfect.
All right, so coming off a match like that, 16-0 against LG, is it dangerous now? Because you're playing a team arguably that's stronger and that might give you a harder time. Could you be too relaxed going into it?
I mean, we give everything against every opponent, so it doesn't really matter who we play.
Okay, sorry about that. What about your thoughts going into this one? You know, you had a pretty confident display in your matchup as well against Envious, but now you're playing Fnatic. It's a bit of a different kettle of fish.
Yeah, definitely. Envious has a different playstyle than Fnatic, and Fnatic showed a great game on Dust 2, but we like to challenge the opponents on their best map, and we're here to show that we can beat them.
And what about, you know, both hailing from Sweden? We're in a Swedish venue. What's that like? Is there an extra bit of rivalry there?
No, I don't think so. I think it's great to be here, to be able to play another Swedish team, and I think the crowd is going to love it as well. We usually have good matches here, and the crowd usually delivers as well, so it's going to be one heck of a game, for sure.
They were going crazy for you earlier, and I'm sure they're going to go crazy for both of you now. So if you've got any final words, JW?
I just hope we're going to have a great game and that the crowd cheer for their favorite team.
All right, well, guys, best of luck. They're going to shake hands. Great show of respect. The crowd are getting a bit crazy. It's going to be an awesome match. And we're going to head back over to the desk.
Well, it feels like DreamHack's finally starting now. The boys are piped up for it. We've got a great game. We also got a great crowd, and obviously they're saying there that JW, I hope they're going to cheer for the, for their favorite team. It's overwhelmingly NIP, like it's got to be said. There's so many NIP fans in the audience. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how NIP made it to this stage, the final. So we've got a video of all of their highlights.
This time they're feeling more solid. Gerard coming up from behind, but he's also alone in a 1-on-2. Throws out another gradient, gets up another kill. Is it happening again? Pronax is alone. That bomb is in the middle of nowhere. He's gonna have to sit out. The Omni goes down. Stay alive. He couldn't really hide under that first one. Forest. Wild Flash going to take down Sipix. What a big kill. He's got the seat set out, goes for more, takes the free. He's ready with the orb. He's got through. He knifes him. Oh my god! Takes down Device. He's going to get gutted, and Carrigan will be alone. 1v3 here. Takes the 1 kill. But this is a disaster. Forest with a quad kill in the round.
Head on to Freiberg, and guess what? 2 guys are looking straight at him. But get right in here. And get right with the triple, the quad! That is it! Get out of his sight!
So there you go, absolute quality from NIP, some wonderful highlights, shows what they're capable of. Maniac, why don't you tell us about these players from left to right?
Of course, first you got Freiberg. Obviously, the NP Fragger is going to have a pivotal role in this map for me. Then Forest, I would put my money on him. I think he's a big difference maker. When he's feeling hot, he's unstoppable, completely unstoppable. Then Exist, for me, one of the most underrated player. Actually, I think he's tremendously consistent, always doing his job, and he deserves more credit, in my opinion. Then Alder, it's going to be quite a tough spot for Alder because they're potentially 3 AVP in the Fnatic lineup. Dust 2 is a map that favors the AVP style, so he's going to have a lot to do. And then, of course, Get Right, one of the best players of all time, I'd say. It's impossible to say what he's going to pull off. I mean, he can clutch anything.
Well, we saw it there on that highlight reel, just Get Right, you know, in that lurking style. We had a ridiculous, we talked about statistically, you know, there was, we were looking at the numbers, and in recent times, he had something like a over 50% clutch rate in 1v2 situations where obviously he's the one. So even when he's outnumbered, he just knows the game, like one of the all-time greats, and still brings so much to the table.
Well, the thing about those very, very good clutchers is that even though they are in 1v3 or 1v2, they are able to actually create 1v1s, fictional 1v1s. They can isolate one player, picking the right angle, maybe using their stuff, smoke or flash. But even though you're 2-on-1, you're gonna find yourself in a 1-on-1 and then another 1-on-1. That's how they do it. That's how they win those big clutches. But that takes a lot of intelligence, actually.
Yeah. So we've had a look at you know, all of the NIP team. I think on Dust 2, I agree with you. I think Arlu's got a big order ahead of him today, and he's been, you know, blowing hot and cold, but you know, he had some good moments in the previous game against Envious, looked to be sharp, so a lot of weight on his shoulders. Now I think we're ready to bring in the highlights of Fnatic and how they got here. So we'll take a look at that.
Nitro gets him. Very low HP for Nitro, but against the off-no condition. Look at Crims, though, on the entry from the backside, controlling that recoil. 2 down already, make it 3 on a Dren, and it's down to a 1-on-1. Baits out the bomb carrier. There's your from the bomb plant with that defuse. Daps gonna try and take this fight. He runs. No! Daps! That gets him in the snatch. He goes for the peak. That was more than 5 seconds already. He runs the whole way. Not only does he telegram where he's coming, I mean, they're confused. Why?
To be honest, though, that wasn't necessarily... Daps had to peek there.
So there you go, Fnatic. Players that don't really need any introduction, but Vendetta, I will let you introduce them all the same.
Yeah, so to our left, starting with Olaf Meister, kind of the most known carry, really, that Fnatic has. Probably one of the most versatile players in the world in CSGO. So definitely look out for him to do something magical if Fnatic are to win this. Dennis, the new kid in the new kid on the block, really for Fnatic. Familiar face, also played in LGB with Olofmeister and Crims in previous iterations. Excellent player, also very versatile, similar to Olofmeister. In the middle, Flusha, the newfound IGL, the in-game leader for Fnatic, taking the reins from Pronax. And it's going to be interesting to see how he does coming up against a team like NIP, who are playing very freely right now. So to see how he's going to be able to deal with that. It's going to be fun to see. JW, the unorthodox opper, really. You never really know what to expect from JW, and we didn't get to see a lot of him in the first game. Obviously, he didn't have that many opportunities to see that many people. It seems like Flush and Olofmeister kind of took care of that by themselves. So he could definitely play a huge part, especially like Nick mentioned, it's an op map.
And Dust 2 has been his playground famous.
Oh yeah,
in the past, you know.
Absolutely. And then lastly, Crims, kind of the safety pin of Fnatic. Always reliable, always bringing consistent performances, and just being a rock for that Fnatic team.
So, I mean, we're talking a lot about the AWP here on Dust 2, so I want to ask you about JW. We have talked a bit about him being in something of a slump, that his inconsistencies have kind of almost become consistent in the sense that, you know, we're not seeing the high-level performances quite so much anymore. Then, what's interesting is, since they brought Dennis in the team, on the online component of the FACEIT League, I went down and hosted the desk for a couple of days, got to see some Fnatic games. JW was going crazy. Like, he had some of the best games I'd seen him play for a while. So, where do we think he's at right now in terms of individual skill?
Well, I think he's coming back from that slump he was in, but the thing about JW is even when he's in a slump or he's not performing up to his usual level, for example in Cologne Grand Finals, you know, he still plays the same style. He doesn't care. He's a fearless player, and I think that's really important, because as soon as JW starts playing more defensively, passively or whatever, because, you know, he's in a slump, then it's not JW, then it's someone else, and it takes a lot away from the whole team then, not just from himself and from his individual performance, because when teams play against Fnatic, they always need to take that into account, like, where's JW going to be this round? Is he going to push cat? Is he going to push long? Is he going to be mid? You know, so by him doing the same thing, although maybe not as successful, it still makes it, you know, better for his team than if he would just say, or even if he would say, I don't want to op this game, you know, I'm not feeling it. That would be much worse for Fnatic.
I was going to ask you, Maniac, if that was what was happening in the teams when you were playing against JW, but I have just been told we've had the 90-second warning, so it's time for predictions, boys. We can pontificate later. Vendetta, how do you see this one going?
I'm actually going to go with NIP for this one. I'm giving it, but it's going to go all 30 rounds, 16-14 NIP.
Like it.
Well, I'll get Fnatic. I think Fnatic, but also a very tough game, probably 16-13 or 14, still Fnatic.
Okay, Yanko?
I think that the Fnatic miracle is going to prevail over NiP Magic, and I think it's going to be like 16-12 for Fnatic.
Well, as you can see, all of our analysts think it's going to be a very close game indeed. Thanks a lot for your thoughts, gentlemen. We'll be back to pick the bones out of it after the game. Now, without any further ado, let's get into El Clasico, NIP versus Fnatic here at DreamHack Winter, and it is going to be cast appropriately by Anderson Semler. Take it away, boys.
Oh, babe. Oh, whoa.
All right, then.
So,
We're so ready.
There's only one match, Anders, that's going to get me to sing Bohemian Rhapsody to warm up, baby. That's NIP Fnatic. It's happening right now, and we're going to get into the thick of it in just a moment's time. But what do you think? Do you agree with what the analysts are saying so far? I mean, that's if you could hear them over me, you know, like going ham over here.
I could, but I mean, it was nice mix of both, I say. I like it.
Right.
Are you Vendetta saying NIP, the other two saying Fnatic, and all of them saying close? I don't know.
Doing the DDK! They're doing the DDK!
Oh, wow. It's a DDK lineup. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Right, DDK, we missed you, bro.
Yeah, Dan's amazing. Dan's skills like no other. Look, I mean, I don't know what to say. I do think it's going to be a really close match. Obviously, super impressive showing by Fnatic. No doubt about it. Dennis in the lineup as well. Very exciting. NIP with some renewed strength as well. I'm not sure. Do I have to call it? Do I have to make up my mind?
Yes. throwing you on the spot because you always do it to me, so now I finally got you. You actually put yourself into it, Anders.
I'm gonna have to. I'll go with NIP then. I can't. For once, I'm gonna be back on the train one more time.
I'm all about Fnatic. Let's go.
Well, it's Exist right now pushing top mid with the P2000, and he's getting woefully outmatched here. A little bit tricky. Ends up going down, and Freiburg with the one refrag, but he gets dropped by Olofmeister. So now it's back to a 4 versus 3. Even though Olof is a little bit tagged up, it's still not quite enough. And look who's rotating in towards the A bomb site. It's Forest, long range with the USPS, and that's a dangerous rotation. He could have got caught on that ramp, and he would have been dead for sure. Now he's back in place. One headshot there, looking for the second one. Forest trying to retreat back behind the box. He gets the second one, but he goes down. It does bring it back into a 2 versus 2 with the bomb down.
And talk about Force really saving the day for NIP. Those 2 kills so crucial. Now they go into a 2-on-2 retake. They have the kit on Alu. Both of them pretty full HP on NIP, so it's coming down to patience and the headshots. Get Right starts off by taking out Crims, and it's going to be Olofmeister looking to bring it back to a 1v1. He can still do this. Has to find the shot, though, and he's hunting, but Get Right won't let him. And Get Right with both kills in the retake. They're going to play it safe. They're going to give it to the guy with the kit. I like it. Get Right could have hogged it, Anders, but you know what? He likes to share. He got the frags. He'll give all of the defuse.
And a very, very good job indeed. I think the man at the round there is Prody Forest. Because if they get up scot-free and just put the bomb down, if he gets caught on the slope, that rotation, he didn't even run up there as fast as he could. He actually sort of ran a half circle around. I was scared for a moment, but it works out quite well. Now Fnatic, they're not going to bend so easily. They go for triple Tech-9, Galil, Deagle into a lot of armor as well. And NIP, they seem prepared though. They've got the inventory for it.
They do. They've got the 3 rifles, Scout for long range work with Alu, and then just a P250 on Forest, but we just saw what he can do with the pistol, so I don't think we're too worried there. Fnatic, though, yeah, they've got those Tech-9s. They're going to be looking for that quick aggression, just run up, get onto a site. They've got the smokes for an execute as well, so there are options here.
And smart as well, because they've got that one Molotov, so it could be to clear out the bomb site. It could also be if they plant for Catwalk, and they end up putting it down to try to prevent the defuse. So that would be very interesting. I like both, and it looks like they're going to use it actually in the site to get in there. So still a good way means they don't have to check it, and they can get very close to that slope with the Tech-9s, and that's what's going to happen now.
Yeah, I dig it. I dig it. Alu, he's out of harm's way for now. Looking for the jump scout shot. He's going to get the tag on one. Crims is low. Not going to hit the second, though, and Olofmeister's already taken out Forest. Alu is down now, but Exist long range with that FAMAS doing work. At least managing to pick up 1 kill, and Freiburg with the second.
Wow, it's back into a 3-on-3 now. Exist moving close here with the FAMAS. They're going to get the bomb plant down. And actually, Flusher gets the shot there. Olofmeister flanking from behind, and Freiburg is gone. And now it's all on Get Right. This would be time for one of those legendary clutches here. Not going to happen. JW shots him down. Deagle to the face, and that's going to be tie the score at 1-1 here in the 3rd round coming up. And the whole problem, the whole challenge that they were facing there, NIP, is the fact that once the once the flashbang goes in and the Molotov is there, then it's very easy for Fnatic to get really close to that scout, and that just doesn't work.
I think that NIP got a little antsy. I think they got nervous because they tried to challenge instead of just making sure that they held onto long, waiting for the rotation to come in. They ended up going in 1 at a time from long, and that just made Fnatic's job easier. They pick them off 1 at a time, and then there's no hope for Get Right. What's he going to do 1v3? So I think NIP just felt the nerves. They need to calm down again, recenter themselves. This is still the start of the map. Nothing is over yet, so deep breath. As Fnatic, they go for the buy. No surprise there. And it's going to be actually, you know, NIP showing a little reserve here. They don't go for the all-out counter buy. They're not willing to get into that game of chicken to risk their economy early on.
Right, and Dust 2 is a notoriously difficult map to try and do those force-ups on anyway, because you're not going to get that close to your target with the pistol. If you're playing on Inferno or something, that P2000 or 5.7 or something, you can almost guarantee you're going to get within headshot range. But here, I mean, yeah, Deagle is much better because you're going to be long range anyway, so I kind of understand why NIP wouldn't want to throw too much into this round. It's still pretty early days anyway.
I'm just wondering, why doesn't Exist have the UMP? You know, well,
yeah.
Just wondering a little bit. You know, he's got the Kevlar helmet, so you'd expect to see something, but I guess he's at 75 up close. That's what he's looking for. Freiburg is the bait. He's waiting in pit, drawing all the attention, and there we go. 1 kill for Exist. Now the game is up, though. Fnatic know that he's there, and Freiburg, he misses his timing and is not able to capitalize on Exist's death. So it's going to be a man advantage here for Fnatic. The rotation has already come through, though, for NIP. There are going to be 3 players here on the site, but Fnatic have got the firepower to deal with this.
And including one of them up on the bomb side, which is going to be Alu there, close range, and that's how you want to use that P250. Trying to see if he can do a little bit more, but Krim is going to pick up the double, and now it's down to Get Right here 1 versus 3. 5 seconds left. Yeah, they're going to get that bomb plant down. That's very scary. They would have got it anyway. But cool round. And I mean, I think we just saw an interesting example between Exist and Freiburg down in pit of how much it matters to be able to coordinate very simple pushes, right? Because if Freiburg had been shooting at the guy that Exist died to, that would have been a really good trade down there. But you could tell that there was like a little bit of miscommunication. It could have cost them the round almost.
It's that hesitation.
What is Forrest doing? He's picking up Flusher. He just naked picked up an AWP and nobody else on the team has anything. This is some madness.
That's exactly what that's exactly what Nip need to do, though. They need to stop being serious. They need to start, loosening up, playing for fun, just going for the frags. Force going for a hero op. That's something that could bring them back and bring that levity back into NIP's mindset. Because right now, especially after that last round, where we saw that hesitation, that fear, they got to get rid of it, Nip. They just need to be loose and play for fun right now.
I agree. I certainly agree that if this round works, then it's going to send them flying sky high. But the problem is, Fnatic smacked them with a really hard dose of reality, and the fact is, buying a ult like this is a really long shot. But he's in a scary good position for us. The smoke is gonna go up, and he wants to reposition himself. Bit dangerous standing back here. Grenades are very easy to hit. Forrest hits another shot. His Dennis going down. He's gonna look for a new angle, and he's gonna get the third kill as well. Forrest looking for that quad, but not quite gonna be able to get it. Still a 2 versus 3 here, and NIP they're close on the rotation, coming up from lower dark as well. They could do this.
Yeah, they still have time. If Olafmeister is still distracted for just a few seconds longer, the man coming in from upper dark is gonna get the flank on him. Alu's in position, and Alu gets the kill. It's gonna be on Cribs now. 1v2, trying to go for a lucky spray, not gonna get it. And he hasn't planted the bomb yet. There's no reason for Nip to challenge. They can wait, they can sweat it out. They don't have to give him a free kill, and they're even changing it up. This is so smart by Alu. Doubling up. Crims is not gonna know that both players are playing from this situation, but what is going on? Exist goes in early. And now Alu is just, what can he do? Exist, what happened? Why did you go?
Yeah, we're gonna need the analyst desk to talk a little bit about that one, because that was definitely questionable.
How I saw it in my head is, right, even if Exist goes down, then Alu's right behind him, right? But Exist jumped the gun by like 2 seconds. If he just waited 2 seconds, it would have been perfect.
Wow, what a shame here. Great start from Forrest, obviously. That 1-on-2 could definitely have been played better, I would say. Well, NIP, they still do a tremendous amount of damage, and, Forrest buying the ult means he can't buy this round, but the rest of them can, and Alu still has the ult. Freiburg opening up on Flusher, out on long. And now the Fnatic team, if they could have got a kill out there and Flusher could have stayed alive, it might have been that they would have tried to pick up people rotating into middle, because they were kind of set up for it, but now they're just kind of slowed down for no reason.
Yeah, they have to worry about any kind of backstab push coming out from Freiburg. I mean, granted, he is tagged low. But they're going to slow down a little bit here, Fnatic. Wait to see if anybody's going to make a mistake on Nip. Nip still trying to calm down. Olafmeister's now got that AWP, hoping to find somebody in CT. Not going to be anybody waiting for him, though. No easy targets. Although, as I say that, a man dropped down. That's Exist making his way in. So there might be a shot here. Comes down to Olafmeister. Is he patient? Does he believe in this angle? No, he pulls off. And Exist not going to peek behind it.
Flashes his way through. There is still a guy in the middle. That's Olaf, and he gets the shot on Exist, which is going to leave Forrest in a very bad spot here with just a pistol. This would be some sort of miracle work if we can make this happen. And he actually does get the headshot on Dennis, but you can tell it's 7 health out of range of a 1-shot. So back into a 2 vs 2. Still, Alu picks up Dennis, and that's going to be now 30 seconds left. Spray comes through from Freiburg, and he waits for his teammate. He knows that they have to do this together. Very smart play here. And JW is going to be alone.
Yeah, smart positioning from JW, though. Turning it into a 1v1, not letting himself be exposed to the smoke, and now he knows where the last man's coming. Alu, headshot straight to the dome, and he is done. JW manages to pick it up for Fnatic. Key round, Anders. That was a big one. Means that Fnatic now are going to have some momentum going into the rest of this, even if it was a 1v1. They really have put Nip on notice since the beginning. But this is so smart.
Yeah.
Because Freiburg's already through that smoke by the time JW comes out. Easy shot for JW, and then it's a 1v1. Much better odds for him.
Yeah, and playing that the big box inside B it's just really fundamental counter. You have to be able to do it well. So many good angles you can take there. Crims trying to see if he can do a little bit more inside the B bomb site, but obviously NIP are ecoing this time. So it should be another round here for Fnatic. They've been really close rounds, but I mean the terrorist side have just managed to come out ahead.
Yeah, and now they're hitting them from all sides. Fnatic showing no respect, going out on long, going out on B. They don't know where to look. Alu will catch a man lurking with that AWP, and JW does not get a second shot. So this is going to be nice for the Finnish player. He's got an off to work with now. There is a man hunting for him, though, and Flusher with the P90, unless Alu, yeah, if Alu misses the shot, he's a dead man. He doesn't have Kevlar. He's just going to get mowed down, and Flusher more than happy to save that 4750 rifle.
Exist lurking somewhere in the middle with a deagle, trying to see if maybe he could claim the rifle back somehow. That would definitely be nice. But otherwise, Fnatic doing a good job here, and the aim punch from that P90 is going to finish it. Flusher obviously saving the AWP after a triple kill. And NIP, in reply to all of this nonsense, is going to go for a double AWP setup. And that did work well for them earlier in the day as well. Forrest and Alu both AWPing was very powerful.
This is their trump card, right? This is them saying, okay, all or nothing now, boys. We got to shut him down. We have to come through big. If Flusha hits a shot here through the smoke, it's going to be nasty, but he gets the timing just off. And, I thought for a second he actually hit that.
Well, in the meantime, the push is coming into B. Grenade going to be out here. Get right, might get caught. He just realizes, and it's not enough. He gets the Molotov killing on Crimson. Cross kill coming through on Forrest. Quick with the AWP. And that might just be enough here. Again, all they need to do is regroup outside, try and retake this bomb site together. They even have a Molotov and a couple of grenades here. Could do a lot of damage to Fnatic trying to put down the bomb. It's Dennis in sight with the bomb in hand. He's got 57 health, or 56 here. Grenade comes through, and now all of NIP are set up. And let's see if they can make it work. They really haven't been able to just yet.
What's interesting from this, they're using the boost. They spot out Flusha. Great kill there from NIP. They give themselves a better chance, but they trade up. Flusha roasts one alive. Dennis, full flash. Not going to see what hit him, and JW taken out. Alu and Forrest, both of those ops finding the key frags, and NIP more than enough time to get that defused. A little bit of you could see the confusion there on Fnatic as well as they were setting up for afterplants. They were trying to set up for that upper dark push that was going to come through, but Nip really just banked everything on coming through B slope. They just gambled it all, didn't go for the crossfire. Brute force tactics. That's what we saw, Anders.
And some really great flashbangs as well. The one that was put out where he sort of walks backward towards the wall, it pops right over the wall, and it's really hard if you're looking at the window there to try and dodge it. So 5-2, very important round obviously for NIP. Fnatic still with the money though. We're going to have to find out if they can break NIP right here. That would be the sign of a very good first half. Crim's out here with the AWP, probably spawned close, but not going to be able to get the shot.
Yeah, nice detail there as well with the bait. And what JW catches Get Right pushing in upper dark. That opens up the B site. Little do they know, Forrest isn't even in there. He's now rotating back. Fnatic looking to try and catch somebody else out, somebody who might be pushing for NIP, perhaps on Cat, and there it is. Exist brings it back to a 4-on-4, removes Olofmeister from the map, but in the meantime, JW takes out Forrest on B site. That's it, it's open, and you see the instant rotation coming out from Fnatic. They want to get that bomb on the site as fast as possible.
This is very impressive here. Freiburg going to be picking up Flusher though, but this is essentially JW single-handedly opening the map for Fnatic, although Alu is going to take him out, and suddenly NIP are back in the round. In spite of Fnatic being in such a good position, it's going to be down to Crims and Dennis here. 2 versus 3, see if they can bring it back. Going to be going aggressive, in fact, here. Dennis spraying down one. It's a headshot on Exist, and grenade lands right in there. Dennis still going to get the shot. Finally, Freiburg comes in, and now 1 versus 1 here. Freiburg with the double kill has to look for one last shot, but it's not going to happen. Crims denying him access, and Fnatic picking up the round in spite of it. What a strange round that was.
Yeah, they're going to need some of that Nip magic at this point. They just got hard reset NIP, and this is just insane by Dennis Meister. Pushes out onto slope, 2 kills for him, no idea.
Look at that grenade, it
dinged him.
Yeah, and it exploded in his face, literally. You could see the path sort of ended there.
This isn't a game of football, Dennis. You're not aiming to go for the headbutt there.
Well, definitely a hard way to go, I would say.
That's still just like the heroics. Sheer bravery from Nip, I don't think we're expecting that. But now, NIP, hard eco for them. Unfortunately, you win a round. If you lose the next one, you're back to $1,400 starting money. So you are definitely behind. They're having to go with pistols just to try and save up for some rifles. And right now, Fnatic, they have a great opportunity to just farm up. Only Alu alive here at long as well. Nip having stacked mid towards B. It is not going to be pretty. Olofmeister, first kill for him with the MAC-10. And look at that, Get Right using Kerrigan's old spot.
Well, I love what they're doing here. Fnatic as well, letting Olofmeister with the Tech 9, or so the MAC-10 lead the charge on long. So in case there was a huge stack going on there, then they would just find out. And so what, they give a MAC-10, nobody cares. Forrest is going to be taking down JW though, so this round is maybe still a bit interesting if they could come up with one more kill. I love the fact that Olof is now lurking in middle.
They need to find Forrest. They need to get that AWP off of Forrest right now, Fnatic. If he holds on to that, there might be a buy for NIP in the next round. So, well, Freiburg just barely darts out of harm's way. Dennis, hot on his heels, not going to find that kill just yet. And now it gets a little bit dangerous. You don't want to go close quarters versus a potential P250. So Dennis, I mean, really playing it close. But yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to get this off of Forest unless Olafmeister comes through huge. First kill goes Dennis's way. That's Freiburg gone, and there it is. Olafmeister spots the man, but he's being baited. Exist is there with the AK, or no, rather Forest with the AWP. Swap the spots, but still, same result. They saved 2 guns, Nip. That's fantastic for them.
Yeah, very important, especially because we're getting into sort of an uncomfortable territory here for the NIP team. 7-2. I think they need more on their CT side here. I think they're needing like a good 7 rounds actually. So I really want to see them start to train some rounds together here.
Oh, that was fantastic by Alu. Did you see that? He tried to take advantage of that short smoke. Crouched right under it, looked for the shot, but unfortunately the man wasn't there for him. Forest is holding close once again, though. Double AWP for NIP. And well, there's the flash. Forest, no shot, has to fall back, and now the pressure is on. He has to hit this, and he's not going to get it. Dennis with the headshot to start, and it's a very quick B execute coming out. They don't know what hit them. JW's there to take out Get Right, and the remaining 3 players here for NIP. All they can do is hope to hold on to these guns.
Wow, I mean, that round was decided within the space of, what, 5 seconds? You can tell that Get Right doesn't even have the timing in his head for how fast they're going to be in there. So that's just a very powerful way to win that round. 1 flashbang in the middle to make sure they can get through the doors without getting sniped, and then they win the fight against Forest, and the round is done.
They're just so quick to collapse on Get Right. That's the key moment. Get Right doesn't even have time to hide on the site. He just gets wiped out. What's also interesting is that Fnatic right now, everybody's sitting pretty even as far as the frags are concerned. They're all sitting close to 10. I mean, that's really heartening if you're a Fnatic fan. Everybody, firing on all cylinders. JW will find Exist, so that's 1 rifle down for NIP. It would have been perfect if they could have kept 3 alive. Now to 2 means that somebody's going to have to force. It's going to be awkward somewhere.
Yeah, but I think they should, though. I think at this point, they got to find a way back in, and yeah, they will buy up. I think that's the reasonable choice as well. So 8-2, ladies and gentlemen, a big lead here for the Fnatic team, and it's only getting better, it seems. They've got the double up set up now on their side, and we'll continue to try and see if they can put rounds on the board here.
This is some of that old Nip, right? Where it used to be, oh, we have $3,000, buy. Every single time. No fear. All they can do right now is hope to come back in this round on IP. It would be a big one to win, but Fnatic aren't giving them any openings. Nip not really sure, going for a bit of a catch-all strategy as well. 2-1-2 setup, just spread out all across the map, hoping to be able to stop that quick B push. But then a perfect shot there from Forrest to take out JW. And now with a man advantage, Nip should be feeling much more comfortable. They don't need to take any risks now. They just need to wait for Fnatic to hang themselves.
And what they've also got this time is a really solid mid-presence. So 2 people there, another one could rotate out of B. Only really weak spot right now, it seems, is long, and nobody's going there. I mean, Catwalk, Exist has got a flashbang. You buy a bit of time here until someone comes in and helps out. I think this is a really good setup for NIP right now. And Fnatic, well, they've got the bomb up on Catwalk, so I think all this action middle is just a big distraction.
That is so sexy, though, from Fnatic. 1 smoke to block B slope, 1 smoke to block CT. The crossfire is eliminated, and then they go up Cat. They're trying to put the pressure on here. Alu hits the first shot. Key frag for him, and he's in position to take the second as well. They're going to peek him together, though, and Holzmeister with a bit of a peekaboo and a double, and now Exist has to hold the line. He's alive in Goose, and Crims is pinned down. Crims with the free fire will get the job done, but they've taken so much damage, Fnatic. Nip, this is definitely doable for him.
What is this round from Olafmeister? He finally goes down, and Get Right gonna be at both the kills from Catwalk, and what a way to end it. That was very scary. I mean, Olafmeister literally got the first kill on Alu, then jumped into CT spawn to pick up the second one. That's some heroic play.
Well, again, pressure time, Anders. Can they chain together rounds, NIP? That's the big question.
Well, Fnatic's economy is not looking that great either, and they are just sort of barely going to put together a buy here. Almost less than 1,000 on everybody on Fnatic now, so they've got to make this round count as well. Otherwise, could be an opening for NIP to get right back in the game. They do have the double up saved, and well, Fnatic don't have a single one.
Exactly. I mean, full AKs. This is by no means a weak buy, but look at this. Alu, a little bit of the cat boost, not using it to peek into lower. Short smoke goes down anyways, headshot box, so he's not going to have that option regardless. Double nade. Oh, it sails a bit too far. That could have been brutal, but still, Alu Brave just decides to hold this angle, and this is it. So many Fnatic members come charging around the corner, and he manages to take out Dennis to start.
Oh, a nice play there from Exist, sort of saving Alu while also getting a kill, but JW landing a headshot on one. Alu getting sandwiched, then he picks off JW anyway, turns around and looks for the second shot, and all he has to do is stay alive here and wait for backup. They're 2 versus 3. The ball might be going down, but Fnatic, they're likely to follow very soon. Alu gonna go down instead. It's a headshot. Olaf managed to follow up and get right. Oh no, they had the advantage. And now Forrest has to do it all on his own here. 1 versus 2. He's got no grenade cliff. Otherwise, Olaf would be gone, and they're just sitting back there. Are they gonna go for the double peek? They're peeking on either side. No chance. Forrest, he gets dropped, and Fnatic, they win the round in spite of some pretty stacked odds against them. I think Alu could have waited a bit longer for his teammates there.
I think it's the do or die situation. You just got to go. It's just, they're so quick, Fnatic. They're so quick. Once they decide to run with it, it's just relentless. Trade fragging all day. Nip just no chance to get back into it. And again, they're just so good at finding that one weak spot, just brute forcing their way in. Otherwise, Fnatic right now, they're just on point, and it's going to be a hard eco for NIP. No surprise there. Once again, they're at the bottom of the hole, and Fnatic, they're looking at double digits here for their T side on Dust 2. That's a fantastic scoreline.
Oh, it most definitely is. I'm thinking if Alu falls back on, like, into pit, essentially, and just waits, and they stack up 2 on catwalk, they go for a solid, 2 versus 3 retake, and no one can hide behind the boxes because Alu's going to be there. So, I don't know, I think there was a little bit too much adrenaline maybe going into that round for NIP. This round, doubt it's going to be too adrenaline-packed. Fnatic playing this one very carefully, and that's going to make it hard for NIP to get some solid frags in here.
Freiburg's going to go. Yeah, a little bit of a peek there just to get the info. JW missing the timing, but still, Freiburg's a dead man. It's only a matter. And there it is. Olafmeister going to find that kill in the end. They do have 4 players very close by here. NIP, Dennis will spot the man lurking behind. That's Forrest, gone. 2 players still up on Cat. Dennis is going to be in for a bit of a rough surprise. He picks up the first, and he's going to get overwhelmed by Alu eventually. So then AK, Alu could potentially find one here as he loses his teammate. Get Right is gone. And so it will be up to Alu now to just run away, hold on to this rifle. Any little bit will help here in the remaining 2 rounds of the half.
Where they're gunning for him. They obviously want to see if they can take this away. A little bit scary for Fnatic, but they are going to be just fine. Crims with the headshot, and yeah, I mean, their economy is not such that they could just throw away endless amount of rifles to hunt that last player, but 1 would have been fine, and when they get the kill, it looks great. So 10-3 moving into the 14th round here. And it's not quite 16-0 here, Semna, but I mean, Fnatic are definitely looking very much on form at the moment.
They're looking omnipotent, man. No, I thought for a second Flusher might have got that. Flash into mid, though, and Alu decides to back off, and look at the quick push coming out here. Forrest with the double spray. Crims and Dennis down. Olaf trying to bring it back. He nearly does the trick. And oh, man, just everywhere aggression. JW gonna dunk a nade onto a man. Alu is gone. The smoke goes down, and Olaf nades everywhere. They're back into a 3-on-3.
What is this aerial bombardment of NIP that's happening here? JW in the middle, turning around just in time. Forrest is going to go down. That means we're brought from a 5 versus 3 into a 2 versus 3 in favor of Fnatic. What a ridiculous turnaround. Now it's Get Right and Exist left here and trying to see if they can make this round work. But look at what Fnatic are doing. They're actually rotating the bomb all the way back into T-spawn. They've got so much time to wait around and see if Nip will make another mistake.
And you have to appreciate Flusher just sitting back there with the op as well. Nip would push an upper dark to get the info. Instead, they're going to be going out through mid. And there is a man waiting for him here. JW just waiting for a chance to continue wrecking. Oh, no, he doesn't realize. Surprise, surprise, Exist is there. And we've lost Get Right in the meantime, so it's down to a 1v2 here for Exist. And they're just splitting it up. Exist does win the duel versus Olaf. He is going to bring this back.
Oh, but look at this. First of all, Exist has no defuse kit. Flusher has a Molotov and a smoke that he can buy a lot of time with at either entrance, so this is going to get very tough here for Exist, especially if he comes up a dark, because then he's essentially funneled in, so he's going to go the other way. Still, that means smoke on one end, and Flusher's now got a very good shot at doing this. Picked up a kit in the meantime, though, Exist.
Yeah, he has found that kit. He's just going to have to commit. He has to go for it, and he knows where Flusher's playing from as well, and Flusher not going to miss that shot. And that's some bravery right there. He had rifles to pick up, but what does he do? He sits there with the op. If he misses the shot, he's a dead man. He loses the round. That thought never even enters Flush's mind. He just knows he's going to get the job done. 11-3 now. And you're right, Anders. It's not 16-0, but this is just Fnatic tombing NIP.
Right, so I would say we've got so far in the tournament, and this is last game of the day, we've got two teams that are definitely looking really solid. TSM earlier today was wrecking everybody, and now Fnatic, I mean, they seem to be on a very similar path, so that's going to make it interesting. Very interesting indeed. Scout 257 is actually a double scout, and also the FAMAS here. That's what NiP have to defend with here in the 15th round, last of the half, and obviously a little bit more important for NiP to win it than it is for Fnatic right now. See if they can at least salvage a bit at the end.
What's exciting to see is that Forest, as far as individual performance is concerned, he's doing pretty well right now with the frags. He's trying to keep up at least. 4 rounds, I mean, it has to be 4 rounds here for NIP. So let's see, Forest, he's going to be in the prime spot. Flash is down, but they don't know he's playing close. And he has a teammate there to watch him as well. First one down, and it's just a 1-for-1. That's not good enough. Flusha and Crims, 2 kills to open it up. Freiburg with the scout on the site. He's not going to be able to hang around for long. And you know what? Flusha, he's a merciful man. He's just going to make sure that Freiburg suffers no longer. Crims deciding to gift himself to Get Right. Feels like he needs to make it a little easier here for NiP. And well, it's going to come down to exist. 1v3, retake. Can he find a kit this time? Although, in the end, I don't know if it's going to make the difference.
Almost certainly not, I imagine. Scout, and it's on Alu, or sorry, on Exist here, but I don't think it's going to be working out. And all of Meister's jumping right in his face. Good half being called. 12-3 finish for Fnatic here in the first half. So very close to a victory. And you are right, though. Forest is actually top fragging in the game. Well, he's tied with Olaf, but only after this round. Just before this round started, Forest is actually top fragging ahead of anybody on Fnatic too. So a pretty good performance from him. And then Alu in second place with 11. But nobody else on NIP is like horribly underperforming. It's just that Fnatic have gone ham in this game.
It's just that everybody on Fnatic is overperforming. They're all sitting in mid-double digits right now.
It also reveals a bit of the fact that so many of these rounds have been so close, because otherwise NIP wouldn't have had these many kills. So a lot of them have been down to 1v1s, 1v2s, and Fnatic have just come out in all the crucial rounds. And that's what's made the difference here. So I don't know what to say, man. This pistol round is going to be an absolute necessity for NIP. If Fnatic don't win it, they're probably just going to shrug and be like, whatever.
They have so much room to work with. And Fnatic now, the main issue is that NiP, that you could tell that they were scared to take the risks. On CT does too. Sometimes you do have to take risks. You have to go into upper dark. You have to push long house. You have to try and catch the T's off guard. You can't just let them get comfortable and come at you every single time. Fnatic, they have so much leeway. They can go for those random plays all day long. And NiP, it's just going to be so difficult for them to get a read on what their Swedish counterparts are going to do. Forrest is trying to take the fight already at long, though, and it's just a long, drawn-out battle, and Olaf Meister comes out ahead.
Yeah, and that was Forrest picking up a P250 specifically to try and take that fight, and it doesn't really work out. Now the rest of the Russian catwalk, but Flusha's already heard it, and he's going to be right behind him. They might get a bit of a free bomb plan here, but look at the backup that's coming in already. Flusha waiting over at the boost, and in the meantime, well, he's going to hit the first headshot there on Exist, looking for a second, even with the flashbang, takes down Freiburg. What a kill, and Alu's going to go down next. It's all on Get Right here. 1 versus 3, and they're going to charge him. Flusha jumping mid-air headshot, and it's going to be a win for Fnatic. Triple kill for him as well.
They just look so calm right now, Fnatic. There's not a worry in the world. When Flusha just goes charging up and gets 3 kills in the pistol round, and NiP weren't even there. Get Right tried to do the best that he could, and yeah, I mean, clearly frustrated. You get 2 frags in the pistol, I mean, that should be your job done, right? Pistol ace, 1v3. We can't even ask that of Get Right, although what? Get Right just decides to go for the Hero Galil. Rest of the team are ecoing, and Get Right decides to go for the rifle. Bit of miscommunication there, it seems, on the NIP side.
Yeah, just a little bit, right? Not sure what to actually make of it. But they are playing this round very slowly early on, and I mean, if you're going to go for this, I at least would like somebody on the team to pick up a single flashbang, just so you can give your Galil player a bit of an edge. $200, Sumler.
Oh, look at the eyes of his avatar. That's a picture of a man who's given up, a man who does, you know, there's no longer any line. He's crossed it a long time ago, Anders. Oh. Now it's Galil time.
Well, if they sneak the bomb into B, they're going to have to deal with the fact that hiding in the corner is JW, and Crims is there to play pure distraction. So that's going to be really tough.
All right, well, let's see. They're making steps up here on Cat, so you can see the instant reaction there from Flusha. Flusha's going to be in position, though, with that P90. He is lethal, and the crossfire is established on the B side. They go charging into the blender, NIP, and it isn't pretty. Everybody getting a piece of the action that time for Fnatic. Puts them up onto 14, and well, here's the buy round coming out for NIP. Get Right just going to go for the Tech 9, couple of nades. The rest of them will have the AKs. just so light on the utility for NIP right now. It is just going to come down to straight up confidence fights. They need to win the duels flat out. They just don't have enough utility to pull, you know, the tricks.
Fnatic, on the other hand, 2 rounds away here from taking a bit of a crushing victory against the NIP team. And JW, early in the middle with a little bit of aggression, gonna bank a grenade in there. A little bit of damage to Freiburg, but not much.
Yeah, not too shabby. Not too shabby. We'll give it a nod of the head. Slusha gets his M4. And JW probably setting himself up to get sacked at some point, play the bait. But really, they are gathered up in mid right now. NIP, they desperately want to push through here. But Fnatic, again, they've got that setup, that anti-mid split setup. 2 guys holding on the B side solid and a man holding in mid. It's going to be tough if Nip decide to go through there, and it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. They're going to go up Cat instead, and there is no AWP to greet them. Instead, it's going to be Dennis with the FAMAS, and he decides to fall back. This is the correct call. Fall back, consolidate long. If anybody's trying to push through here, this is perfect from Fnatic. This is solid CS.
Absolutely, and now they can feel so safe about that long position. They know they've got NIP boxed in, and so right now, the terrorist sign, they've got no grenades either. They're going to have to really try and stay alive for a long time here, Fnatic. They're going to set up for it. They've got 4 kits as well. Freiburg completely flashed. He goes down to Crim's refrag there, and Forrest also picking up Olofmeister. Not looking too bad right now. 3 versus 3. A lot of time has passed already, and Fnatic, they might not quite be able to do this. Dennis is getting close to the site, but he's so exposed here, and he's got no backup, so this is not going to be happening. Going for the 1 shot. He actually hits a headshot. What the hell? And now Alu, well, looks like he's going to fall to his death. Oh, Dennis. Alu will survive. He decided, you're not going to take me alive.
Exactly, right? Did not give Forrest the pleasure. Got the job done himself. Okay, then, Fnatic. What is this shot versus Forrest, though? That is sick. And well, Nip, they managed to play it correctly. They hold on to the key position on Cat. That's what they had to do. If you lose control of long, it's all about catwalk for NIP. The fact that they repelled the defense there, that was everything. But it is going to be another buy here for Fnatic. They have the rifles to go with. And, well, Forrest, blinded, will get overwhelmed by Dennis. So a man down already, and look at that. This is what I'm talking about, Anders. They can just push everywhere right now, Fnatic. They're putting the pressure on. It is a 3-on-3, though. They do bring it back by taking out JW in mid.
Well, we'll see if it's going to be quite far enough for them as well. I mean, they've managed to slow down Fnatic just a little bit. But, you know, it's right at the finish line almost. And Dennis here set up with the M4, and because nobody's coming long as well, Olofmeister can come in here and try and help out. Double grenade onto the site. Dennis looking to buy a little bit of time here with a flash. Spots them once again, and now he's got backup in Olof as well, and Olof's going to get that 1 headshot. There he goes, down to Freiburg, though. 2 versus 1 against Crims. This should be around.
This is feasible for Crims. If he gets the shot on the man here, pushing on slope. Exist is low. And Freiburg steps out into the open, and Exist is vulnerable. He's going to get spotted. Crims with 8 bullets. It's enough to do it. Exist is dancing now, trying to find the angle. Crims has got a little bit of time. He doesn't have a kit, but I'm sure he can pick one up. Can he actually find the angle, though? He runs out of bullets. 5 HP left on Exist, and Crims looking for the pre-fire, but Exist will only give it to him at the very end.
No kit.
It's going to be cutting it real fine.
Ah, he's got it. He's got it.
He's got it.
So scary as well. I mean, if Exist could just stay alive a little bit longer, that gets really awkward for Crims, but they bring it back. That's going to make it 15-4. There's been an interesting battle going on there at the end.
Brutal. And Freiburg trying to cross over to long, expecting him to be coming from Cat. Or expecting Crims to be playing from Cat, rather. Just gets caught out for free, and that is pretty much going to end it all here for NIP. They're not done. They can go for a force buy with Tech 9s and a single AK picked up on Freiburg. But Fnatic, they have everything they need here to shut this out. A dominant performance from Fnatic so far.
We'll see. NIP, they need to make those explosive Tech 9s work. I mean, Freiburg certainly had a lot of speed behind him, but not really a lot of backup, and nobody to follow up that aggression. Now they're bumping into each other and long, and that's not how you want to play. Exist is going to end up dropping the bomb right in front of Fnatic, and it'll be Dennis and Olof helping. Or actually, Dennis with a double kill here. Aloe and Forrest are coming back into it, but they're still very low on health, and they have to go down and retrieve the bomb. Not a good position.
They have to cross open ground to get to it. That's the worst part. This is a nightmare for NIP. They have a single smoke. Alu has to get this smoke perfect, or they need to find a kill. And they spotted out JW on Catwalk. JW now knows that the game is up, and they're going to use that smoke on Cat. What are they going to do? What are they going to do about Crims? Crims is just sitting here. He's waiting. He's got all day.
I think they're going to praise someone. They're going to just say, leave it up to something else.
Oh, wow, yeah. This is a firing squad. JW so smart, rotates back down.
Smoke. Aloe picked up another smoke. That could make a really big difference.
They're actually waiting for the backstab here. They're wondering, are they going to fully commit to this? Smoke gets used on long instead. Oh, Crims, he spots it, and that is it. It is over. No options for NIP, nothing to do, and they just get completely gutted in this map, 16-4.
Wow, yeah, what a performance here for Fnatic. I mean, that first half was, I would say, deceptively one-sided. There were so many close rounds. Fnatic winning every single key round, so some really clutch plays coming through, and some really bright lights here, Sam. What's up?
All of a sudden, right? Boom in your eyes.
Not used to it.
Like a, I feel like I got to do a get right, where it's like a flash just went off in my face.
Well, they are.
I mean, you're going to have the handshakes going out, and I'm sure we'll have an interview in a moment, guys, but that was just... This is actually what we were wondering. We weren't quite sure what kind of Fnatic we would get, seeing as how the roster change had come through. But then they've also had a little bit of time to work with their new roster as well with Dennis. We also have to remind people that Dennis used to play with Crims and Olafmeister back in the day on LGB, and they wanted to play together for a long time. They really did mesh well, so it's good to see that there wasn't any growth period or growing pains. It's just he slots in, and it works out really nicely for the Swedish lineup.
Yeah, and I mean, you always talk about the honeymoon period and all those things, right? It could be a number of things, I reckon. But you're right; they have sort of the LGB trifecta going on. It's going to be interesting how much they can accomplish,
So far, it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, this is their first land with the new lineup, so.
Yeah, and it's best of one and all that stuff. So you got to be. I guess we got to be careful. But I can't think of a really good reason why this lineup wouldn't work. The question is always once you get really deep into a tournament or once you play teams that are strategically better than NIP, are they going to have the depth that Pronax probably had? Maybe we can find out because we do have Pala ready on the stage to take it away.
Sorry, Olaf is whispering in my ear. Good to see you after that victory. How was that?
It felt good. We had some good individual performance in the beginning that helped us keep going and helped the economy on our side. So it was good.
For some, you were a favorite to win it, but I don't think many people would have predicted it being as smooth a victory as that.
I don't know if we're favorites. I don't believe we're favorites. I think probably TSM or Envious is favorites right now because we just changed a player. But
for the match.
Oh, for the match. Okay. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. What Vendetta said to me backstage was that even though round score, it was quite dominant, some of the rounds were actually very close. Do you think the match could have gone a different way had individual performances, team play were not as strong on you guys' side?
Yeah, it could have gone. It probably could have been more close, but I still think that we would have won anyways.
Going on from here then, what's the plan? How are you planning to go through the rest of this competition? Are there any teams that you would like to play?
We like to play anybody. Don't care who we play, but it's also fun to have a day off. I don't think we have. It's like one time before we had a day off in a tournament. We always came second in our group.
Yeah, so tomorrow you have a day off, is that correct? Okay, so what about in that downtime then? Is it going to be mainly relaxation, or is it going to be, you're going to be putting your heads together and figuring out what exactly you're going to be doing?
Probably a little bit of both. Checking the games, checking other teams, how they play and what we should do against them, and a lot of relaxing and just having fun together.
Does Vago have much of a input in those sorts of moments where you have the downtime? Does he go through the strats with you? Does he just kind of keep you all in the right frame of mind?
He's a part of the team. So his voice is as important as anybody else. So yeah.
All right, well, Olaf, congratulations, and we'll see you in a couple of days. The crowd, I'm sure they'll see you off, and thank you very much. You can head off now. Congratulations. All right, so that's it from me on the stage today. We are going to head over back to the guys and on the desk to close it out.
Thanks a lot for that, Parla. So it was a game that promised so much. Scoreline-wise, maybe it didn't deliver, but ultimately it was a real good showing from Fnatic, and we get to learn a little bit more about them and their new identity as a team. And I gotta say, if they're gonna play their T-sides like that moving forward, Virtus Pro and Envious are gonna have some competition for who's the best T-sided team in the world right now. I mean, they're just so explosive, so much firepower.
I mean, definitely. They've shown the best performance out of all teams today, for sure. And we can see in this particular map how Counter-Strike is a game of there were a few crucial rounds, you know, determine the winner. NIP win pistol round, lose the following round. They won 2 gun rounds, lost the following round. After that, we're going to have it on replay.
Well, we'll do it now while you're talking about it. So here's the replays you picked out, Prashant. Tell us the story of the game.
So this is just after NIP won a round. We can see minute 30, Get Right, for no reason, just pushes through his own smoke. There was no info anywhere else on the map that would make him do so. JW gets another free kill after that. They get into B. Then we see Dennis just, you know, individual performance, the new addition, how he was crucial in that round for Fnatic. After that, I mean, Crims is left in a 1v1, he wins it for Fnatic, and that resets NIP's money system completely. They have to go on a save. Next time they buy, it's gonna be, you know, not such a good buy. They need to go with a couple of Famases and so on. So yeah, the thing about CS, when you lose a round or when you are down 3-0 or whatever, you need to win consecutive rounds. Winning one round, losing the other, it's just not enough.
Yeah, especially when you're so reliant on having money, as NIP are on a map like this too, because they thrive when they get double ops up. And if you do such a heavy investment into your round, regardless if you're T or CT, you're going to have instant results from it. Otherwise, you're going to get into this really deep pit that we saw NIP find themselves in, where they kind of have to force up. They have to do weird buys where some of them might have rifles, other guys are on pistols, and it just becomes a complete mess. And that's really what we saw. Fnatic did a great job of constantly controlling the money of NIP, and that's what Olaf said in the interview as well. They got the control over the economics, and from there on out, it's a smoother sailing, I guess, a more smooth sail than what it normally would be.
Fnatic should run for election in Greece, see if they can sort that out, right? But anyway, Arlu was one of the players trying to claw their way out of the pit, and you picked the clip out for him as well.
Yeah, here it is. NIP decides to switch things up. They boost Alu towards Cat. He gets the initial pick. He falls back, and you can see here, Freiberg, only by the slight margin, starts rotating towards A. I mean, for no particular reason, considering he's the guy who holds long, he dies. It makes it more difficult for Alu, who pushes. He actually gets flashed from his teammates who were retaking from Cat. And here in the end, you can see a perfect example of how you play a situation like this. Yeah. Forest had 0 chance to win this round. You see how they picked from the left and the right side at the same time. That just textbook performance for
you made a great point backstage as well, man. We were talking about how it's so simple, but I guess for the benefit of the people at home, you pointed out about sort of how Fnatic were reading when NIP were going to use that double AWP setup. So
yeah, absolutely. I want to point out that for me, that T side from Fnatic was very well constructed and very logical, because obviously they want some crucial rounds, reset NIP's money. That's one thing. But on the other, they could really see the double AVP coming, and you could see that at the beginning of the game they were focusing heavily on the B and split B tactics, which are like the closest and smallest area. And as soon as they knew that they broke NIP's money, they started to invest more on A, because obviously they could use the out firepower of the enemy. So everything went their way, and it was pretty logical and smooth to me.
Yeah, I mean, just a textbook T side, but again, they backed up the aggression and the firepower by thinking out, like you say, logically, and shut down the double up setup that we knew NIP would lean to. I do feel a bit sorry for Forest being on the losing team, because I thought he had another good game.
Yeah.
And, Forest, I think, has been NIP's most impressive player for me lately, as they've had this mini resurgence.
Yeah, definitely. And, I mean, NIP had a couple of weird decisions regarding the buys as well. I mean, a casual UMP from Freiberg and a Kevlar and Xist and a CZ from Xist, while everyone else was on an eco. Then the following round, Forest just buys an AWP. Everyone else is on an eco. They actually were close to winning that round. They kind of misplayed it in the end. They were in a 2v1.
Yeah,
and Xist peaked for some reason. I don't know why. And by himself.
They had a lot of those situations. I think they ended up losing 4 2v1s and 2 1v1s in that game.
I'm not sure, but
in any case, there's way too many. And a lot of those situations where they don't do what Fnatic did in the clip we saw, where they actually play together. And we've talked about this all this time. Good clutch players, they're so good at isolating their opponents when they're in a 1v2 or 1v3, that type of thing. Just Fnatic didn't have to do that work because NIP just isolated themselves.
Yeah.
So it was kind of awkward to watch, and it definitely could have been a much closer game if those rounds actually work out for NIP. But got to give credit to Fnatic for staying calm and being there in the moment.
So just some final thoughts. Having seen Fnatic, do we think they can now win this tournament overall? I mean, we weren't giving them too much hope. Envious were the favorites when we started. Then we saw TSM, we're like, ooh, a 16-0, and we got distracted. Well, Fnatic have got one of their under their belts now, and they've beaten a very good NIP who beat Envious earlier on. So Fnatic genuine contenders.
What I think first thing we can say is that Dennis integrated very quickly in the team. Yep. I mean, it didn't seem like a new team there, a new lineup. Things went very smooth, but I am a little bit concerned about how wide their map pool is at the moment, because I've been looking at the video and they have very strict direct veto on like exotic maps like Overpass and Train and Cobble, and going into the playoffs, playing best of 3, I don't know if they have like enough maps to like counter-pick the enemy and get the maps they want to. So maybe, but that's my concern, more about the map pool.
I think that's a very good point. We know that they can play Dust 2 from the 2 games we've seen, so that's great. They've got that on lock. But yeah, it's really, if they haven't been able to practice as much as they probably haven't, seeing how Dennis just joined the team, they're going to have issues, especially on the custom maps like a Cobblestone or like an Overpass.
I think we'll see some teams starting to ban Dust 2 against them. Just maybe, right? Anyway, let's take a look at the bracket and see what we've learned from those games. Group B, you can see we started the day off with Envious losing. Yes, losing to NIP. Then Luminosity, they're going to be wondering what happened. They got hit by the Fnatic Freight Train 16-0, which set up Fnatic versus NIP. Fnatic continued their juggernaut-like progress, running over their Swedish compatriots 16-4, and Envious versus Luminosity will be that losers match in the series. And Luminosity, well, they're going to have a few nightmares tonight, I think. Not just about the 16-0. You got to wake up, put it behind you, and you got to take on the team that, despite that loss, is the team that many people think is the best team in the world. So a bit of a horror show for them. Now, I don't know, will we be doing a recap of Group A, production? Are we going to go right far back in time? Yeah, I'm talking to you. There we go. We are going to do it. I don't know if they were meant to do that, but I just thought we may as well. And you can see Virtus Pro had a few scrapes and bumps against Legacy, the New Zealand-Australian team, who got here through a 4-way tie, but they emerged victorious. Experience told Team Liquid, the other team, to be absolutely humiliated today at the hands of TSM with a 16-0. Then Virtus Pro versus TSM. That was a cracking game. TSM 16-13 in the end, which means Virtus Pro will play the winner of that losers match, Legacy Team Liquid, a best of 3. So that's an interesting one there as well, Legacy Team Liquid. Looking forward to seeing how that one goes. The way, if Team Liquid play against Legacy like they did today, you could see Legacy at least getting a map. Which was unthinkable. And Thorin referenced Lurpis, the former Finnish player and CSGO pundit. He said he did an article where he deliberately made crazy predictions, and one of them were that they were going to eliminate Team Liquid and like go through. So he's on point for at least one of them.
Wouldn't be the first FACEIT tournament where Oceania beats NA. Happened in stage 1 finals, I think, as well.
Yep.
So it was Liquid who lost that tournament as well.
It's in the cards.
You know, I really find it hard to believe that Liquid is gonna, repeat the performance from today. But I see a world where Liquid starts losing to Legacy and then get tilted by it, and then straight up lose, the whole thing. So we'll see. I find it unlikely, but never say 0%.
I think the more we learn about this Team Liquid lineup is the tilt can be real. Once you're under their skin, you stay there. And that's going to be the first game of the day tomorrow. So really looking forward to that one. Anyway, it's been wonderful hanging out with you guys today at DreamHack. It's amazing. Thanks to the 16-0 gods, we're getting out of here relatively early. We can have a drink at the bar. This is awesome. Maybe not you, though. You're jet lagged still.
I am
totally jet lagged. But you've done brilliantly together.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you at a DreamHack. Of course, great to have you guys there as well. Now, we obviously need to thank everyone who, not just the talent, not just us great guys, and obviously you for watching, and obviously the teams putting on some great games, but obviously our sponsors as well. And we've got loads of them. We've got Intel, Hybex, Razer, Monster Energy, ISO monitors, Alienware, Alpha Draft, and Unicorn. And of course, we also have our coverage partners, The Score Esports. You can go to thescoreesports.com, download their app, and then we've got a video coming up for you in the break. And when we close out the show, they'll show you how to use this. If you're old and a bit stupid like me and you can't figure out technology, which is terrible really considering I'm a tech journalist these days, it'll show you how to do it. Anyway, we're going to be back here in the studio at 11:30 to bring you all the pre-show, and of course, we're going to be talking about that Team Liquid versus Legacy game, which will kick us off. Thanks a lot for watching. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Peace out.